Short video on suspension for one of these Coleman CT200x's. Anybody wants to put suspension on their rear seat? Okay, so here's the original seat. I just got it unbolted. This part of it's pretty simple. The seat just sits in here and is bolted down. The front part is held by those two tabs that just slips in underneath there. So I'm going to use these bobber springs. The bobber springs are going to mount back here under the seat. This seat is only plastic and cardboard, so I had to make a plate. To go with it. All I did was take a piece of plate, I laid it down on the seat, traced out a pretty good template, and just cut it out. So I cut this hole out because I'm going to mount my seat with the tabs hooked in there, and then that'll give me room. I can hook them back in here in the regular holes there and there. And then I'm going to mount the bobber springs on the back. Once I stiffen it up with a piece of steel across there, I'll be able to mount the bobber springs here and into the frame here as well. Now to hook it on the front, this is just a quick video. I took a regular hinge, I cut it down the middle there, I lined up the bolts so the bolts can go. I can put two bolts there. That way now, when I weld this to that frame, the bobber seat has room to move up front, like this. And I can unhook it, and then I can unbolt it and go back to factory whenever I want, just by removing all this stuff. Okay. And I bought the bobber springs because I saw in another YouTube video they bought these to do them with. These are way too stiff. Don't get them. Even cheap ones, especially I bought the cheap ones, and they're rated at 700 pounds. There's just no give in these. So I'm going to test the bobber springs. It looked like from the videos they have a better chance of giving you some suspension. So I'll try those. As I get it more together, I'll update the video. So here we are, close to the mock-up of what I need to do here. Now, I still don't have that part welded on there yet. I'm just test fitting the springs to see if the springs will actually work. So I'll show you what I got done. At this point, I have the hinge welded on there and bolted on. I can still remove this whole spring setup anytime I want. That's without the, there's the piece I'm going to weld onto the bottom plate there now in a second. I'm just trying to get, now I don't know if you can see this or not. See if it'll focus. Had to get some flat washers. All I did was I put the bolt through that side and I put a nut on it underneath, and then I got a flat washer. I had to cut part of the flat washer off to be able to fit in there. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'm just trying to see where to drill the holes through the frame here now to put this on there. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this in here and I'm lining this up as best I can to where I would want it. And once I line this up about halfway and I get an idea where I want to drill down through here, I'll mark them there now, drill the holes, and then I'll weld this onto this steel plate, and then that should be it. We'll test it out. Alright. Well, they're just finished up and painted up. Bolts, washers in there. There we go. And don't know how much you can see up underneath, but I painted it all up. And like I say, it wouldn't take much to put this back to factory. So anyway, here we go.